All right, you guys. What a day and what a blessing it has been to be able to be learning alongside of you guys today. I am Jen O'Sullivan, and I will be sharing with you all things to crush your fears and own your own wellness. And I so look forward to being able to share my story with you. I had to change my shirt today because I've been like sweating through it. So I'm like, we put toilet paper or tissue in between my armpits. It is what it is. So probably by the end of this talk, our air conditioner broke, and so I've got fans going, and we're doing the best we can here. And I love this time of year because I feel like we get into a kind of a I just want to move forward, right? And I want to know how many of you feel that way. How many of you feel like this we can't be doing what we've been doing for the past however long, right? That we need transformation. So if you want transformation, I want to see you post it. I want you to say it. I want transformation. I know that's a big word to type, or you can say I want change. If transformation is too big of a word, just put change. And my friends, I know many of you guys don't like change, but it's necessary. And when our growing pains get too painful, we need to change. So just tell me that you want change. And I think that I'm gonna put on an oil. Usually before I go on live on stage, I put sacred sandalwood or royal Hawaiian sandalwood. I will put just a small amount onto my throat right here, just like a small amount. And I rub it on my vocal cords. This is an interesting thing. You can do this with frankincense as well. You can do this with copaiba, but this is really good at calming your vocal cords. I play piano at my church, and I have probably one of the loudest voices in the church. I have to sit in the front row if I'm not playing the piano. And even when I am playing the piano, I'm nervous that the microphone in the piano will pick up my voice or the worship leader who's like, maybe 15 feet away from me, his mic. I bet the guys in the back laugh because they can probably hear me, even though I'm not mic'd. I used to date a guy who we used to joke that like I had like a foghorn voice. I have been known. I remember speaking to you guys in Canada one year, and the mic wasn't working. Remember, there was no electricity, and I'm like, it's good. They did candlelight, and I just shouted to you guys all, and everybody could hear me. So I've gotten used to doing this. But what's really cool about it is because it's a calming oil, it just smells so good, and I'm a little nervous. So I'm drinking my red drink. Question you guys have asked me over and over again that I've not done yet is what supplements I use. So I'm going to be covering that. So tag your friends, tell your people to come in and watch this because I'm going to be sharing a lot with you. Okay, so I want to kind of just share how excited I am and how thankful I am for the Young Living community. I am overjoyed, and I know you guys are too, because we have what I would consider the greatest community in the world. I mean, if you listened to Richard Blitzbrook this morning, he gave up, sold his companies, and switched, right? And I think what's interesting is he switched from a metric standpoint, a number standpoint, because we have a 40% retention rate, which is huge. But look at the community he gained, right? Like, I'm sure he's probably laughing at the fact that it's that happy thing about Young Living is that the community is where I think we've gotten each other through this year together. So I'm thankful for you guys, and I'm excited to be here. So thank you for that. Again, I want this to be a transformational year. And what I've been working on, I'm really close to wrapping this up. It's been about 4 or 5 years in the making of trying to really understand this concept of wellness mapping. And you guys have learned oil mapping, you've learned terrain mapping with me, you've learned, action groupings, you've learned all sorts of things through me over the last, I think, 5 years now that I've been working with you guys, almost 6 years. And it's been interesting to me to see some of the pain points. Now, I asked you guys to do a survey yesterday, and you're still welcome to do that survey. I think it's at vitalityedu.com/map. So please, it's just a 2-question survey. And if you want to be notified of what's coming, get on that, because that will be the email that you'll get to see, what's happening here. But basically, the pain points were what was so interesting to read from you all. Like, what is holding you back? So if one of these words is your word, put it in the comments. I want to know what is holding you back from optimal health. So some of you, it was time and money. I mean, that seems to be one of the biggest things, is like, I don't have any time. I feel like I'm running a mile a minute and I don't have any money, right? Because sometimes we have this preconceived notion that getting well is going to cost a ton of money. Okay, I'm here to tell you that's not true. And the time thing is also not true. So there's some stuff that I want to help you kind of get rid of in our mental capacity here. Other comments that came through, which I thought is like so me, is motivation, laziness, like lack of energy, just myself, right? Getting out of my own way. And that made me giggle to just see thousands of you. That was one of your things. I mean, we had so many of you answer that questionnaire, and it was so helpful for me to get a pinpoint on what it is that was the most common thing. And so many of you, it was just like, it was kind of what Brandon talked about, the meh, just not, I don't know, I just don't want to do it. I remember when The Biggest Loser came out, that show years ago, watching it and just like eating chips and whatever snacks I could. I don't know. And I always thought that was so, like, I don't know, that's ironic, but it was just like awkward, because you're watching these people work their tails off to try and lose weight, and I'm just like stuffing my face. But again, that's the problem. Sometimes we're just like, I'm good. I'll watch these people, but I'm not gonna do it. You do it. Another thing that came up though was lack of guidance. Like, where do you start? Lack of personalized guidance, right? How do you even get started? And then another big one was accountability. How do we stay accountable? How do we stay accountable in all of this? And that whole thing is like, that was a big one. So personalized information, where to start, accountability, all of that. So I might even say all of the above is the biggest problem. And I'm curious which one is your biggest pain point. So, I can see some of you guys saying the same thing, like consistency, lack of energy. It's just all of this stuff is just difficult. So I appreciate you guys being honest and kind of sharing that, your heart with me, because I'm going to tell you kind of this year. This year is something that I am so like excited about, because we're going to be doing this together. Because this is the deal. We need each other. Like, I need you and you need me. And when Jordan announced Diamond Bound yesterday, I couldn't sign up fast enough. I got the email that launched like the Diamond Bound, and I was like, I'm there. Because I want to see you guys. Like, I want to hug your necks. I want to hang out with you guys. I want to literally hang out with you. I think that that's the thing at convention that is so fun for me, is I don't go anywhere. I just hang out with you all. Like, I want to walk the line and give you hugs and talk with you and meet you and put the face to the name, and doing so is so important for me, because it allows me to connect with you guys. It feeds my soul, So the question might be then, why listen to me? I mean, some of you guys might be new in here. Some of you maybe have never heard of who I am, and that's totally cool. Who is this crazy girl holding her arms to her sides? Seriously, I think I'm sweating. So am I? I don't even know. Oh yeah, there it is. I got good sweat going. I'm like, I need the tissue papers under here. But it's like, why listen to me? I'm just going to give you a really brief background of who I am. I have been with Young Living since 2007. I have been learning under Gary Young since that time, and have watched and listened to many of his old stuff as well. I mean, it's kind of like Sarah Harnish doing deep dive research into Gary's life. I feel like, he was just such a huge person in my wellness journey and how I understand health and wellness. And so I didn't actually start teaching, though, you all until 2015. So it's been this interesting thing of, I was learning and kind of keeping it all to myself, and then realized a lot of my friends were using different brands, and their distributors or reps or whoever were telling them really dangerous things to do. So I started kind of opening my big fat mouth, right? And some of you guys who remember me in the early days, you know, I can be pretty aggressive as far as how I teach. And so I came at it like hitting everybody over the head, like, do this, don't do this. Like, you're a dummy if you do this. And, you know, it was like just bad. It was just my typical, I used to teach college students, and that is how they learned well, is if I just kind of hit them. And I, you know, now I'm teaching mostly women, and women with a lot of emotion. And I just horrified some of you. So I apologize for that, but I've been consistently teaching you guys for years. We have over 250,000 people in here, and I am considered one of the most prolific educators on essential oils in Young Living, and that's just because of the amount of content that I have given you guys for free. I mean, it's just tons and tons of free content. I'm certified in what's called French medicinal aromatherapy. That is the method of consumption. It's a specific art of aromatherapy, like a specific section in aromatherapy through the School for Aromatic Studies. I have also developed one of the most comprehensive Young Living oils and product apps. It's called the EOBar app, and it has everything on it. And we are in the middle of doing a huge overhaul on that. So we're very excited about that for you guys. And it's a one-time purchase app. I think my app is the only one that doesn't have like a monthly fee attached to it. So, and we pay those server fees diligently every year for you guys. So we just, you know, if you know anything about apps, it's very unusual to have an app that is just one-time fee and you're done. It's like getting a book and getting updated books every single time there's an update. So I'm a master trainer with one of the largest educational certification programs. It covers every single Young Living product, and it's called the Vitality Lifestyle Coaching Program. And this is a big deal because it's getting another overhaul this fall because of all the changes that Young Living is doing. So we are revamping that, and I'm excited to announce something for you guys later in just a little bit later. But and I've also written a ton of books. I don't even have them here because there's too many. They would take over my whole entire desk. I have too many desks. I've written close to 30 titles. I say 20 because it's a little bit over 20, because some of those are like second edition, third edition, and a lot of authors count those in their docket of how many books they've published because it's a different ISBN number. But it's around 20 books, and 13 of them are oil books, 9 of them are bestsellers. I don't know how that happened, and you guys have just blessed me with that. So thank you for that. It's been crazy. But one of my most powerful books is the Supplements Death Reference, and that details everything supplements, and it's just really, really, really valuable. So that's a little bit about who I am and why I think I have a little bit of value to speak into your lives. But I want to share with you this year and what happened to me and the interesting thing that I think so many of us went through. But I want to share my story because I was absent for a good amount of time there. Listening to Lucy Libido, same thing. I feel like so many of us went through this, like, we are just holding on for dear life. We're doing the best we can. I had a 7th grader who was just failing all of his classes. Because book sales were really massive during COVID. I couldn't, Tim had to work every single day. So he was gone and I was dealing with Jacob, and it was just so many things. We had house flu this year. I mean, that in and of itself can make you mad. I don't know if you guys know what house flu is, but we're like one after the other. Every appliance breaks, like everything. And it was no joke. I mean, it was just awful. So, and again, we're sitting here with another house flu of having the air conditioner break. So it is what it is. But, this home is fairly old and we're, getting through it. But during that time, a couple things happened. One is I gained a lot of weight. I gained about 30 pounds. And some of you guys watched that happen because I came on, every once in a while and did videos and whatnot. But I gained 30 pounds. An interesting thing, just to give you some idea about that. So I was weighing 173. I'm weighing 150 right now. I'm usually around 148 or 147. But I had gained, and I know you'll do the math, that's around 25 pounds, but I had gained it and I had lost 30. So like at my lowest, I was down to like 143. And it's a little too skinny for me, even though my weight range, I know Lucy talked about this, and it's so weird for us women with the numbers, but my weight range, I really, Jacob laughs at me because he says, you could be skinnier, Mom. like, no, I'm good. But I can be around like 120 even, you know, and that's too thin. And I feel like at 140 I'm too thin. Like I get like gaunt, and I don't like that look. But I don't mind the like extra roll, and I do. I mean, like, not that you guys care, but it's like it's. I'm not super thin, but I'm good, right? Like I feel good. I just am not like tiny thin, and it doesn't really matter to me. So so but what was happening with me, it wasn't about the weight or what I looked like. And I've had this weird body image issue my whole life where it doesn't matter. I know that sounds weird to some of you, because I know body issue for most of us is really bad. As long as I don't see myself in a picture, I actually don't care. Like, I will wear the same thing and have all the rolls. And, you know, like you see women walking around where you're like, ooh, she probably shouldn't be wearing that. That's me. Like, I don't have image issues. I have pain issues. Does that make sense? And again, some of you, this is a trigger, is a potential trigger. I did a whole video on this and got some trigger emails from you guys, and I get it. And I showed you guys a picture of me in the pool last year. You know, I'm drinking margaritas all last year, and I just, to me, I saw the picture, and that's where it triggers me. Is I was like, oh my gosh. So I love my mom. She's my best friend. But at my age, she was very overweight. So when I looked at that picture of me, I looked like my mom. And it just horrified me, because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm huge. Again, this was my perception, because I typically don't have that body problem. Um, because I don't look at myself. I don't really ever look at myself in the mirror. I kind of go through day, you know, when I'm on here, you guys know I do not like look at myself. I look at the camera and I try not to get lost in the comments, because I would be doing this all day long, because I don't like looking at like things that are out of place. Okay. So I know that's like, again, it's another issue I have. But when it comes to seeing photos of myself overweight, I'm like, oh wow, okay. Interesting. So that was a kind of a trigger point for me. But what was the most difficult was the pain. I had so much pain in my body. Okay, so why? They did a study in 2004, I think, but it appeared, Dr. Stephen Messier, in July of 2005 in the Journal of Arthritis and Rheumatism. He said, it said that Messier's study concluded that for every 1 pound of weight loss that occurred, there was a resulting 4-pound reduction in knee joint load or knee pressure. Furthermore, it was suggested that individuals who lost 10 pounds would be subject to a total of 48,000 less pounds of pressure for every mile walked. Like, that is insane to me. So my extra 30 pounds was causing 120 pounds of pressure on my joints every step I took. So this was a problem. And I was using supplements, trying to kind of like band-aid the problem. And how many of you have done that, where you get to a situation where you're like, I just want the easy answer? Because we just want the easy answer. And I don't know. I was looking for an easy answer, you guys. Just to be honest with you, you know, we got our CBD oil a couple years ago. I know it works. I've got my Agiles, right? Like, there's things I know help. Our sulfurzyme, Ninja Red, all these things that help with joint inflammation. And I know that's a kind of a buzzword, but like, we know that these are things that are supplements that are scientifically proven to help with joint, right? Joint discomfort. I was taking all those things and I was still in pain. Okay, why? Why was I still in pain? And I'm not talking a little bit of pain. I'm talking a lot of bit of pain. I'm talking, we went on our trip to Mammoth. I was an hour into the drive. You know, Tim wanted to get out and get some Mexican food at this place that we like to stop out. Went in to get it, and as I got out of the car, I could barely walk. From 1 hour sitting in the car, my joints were so inflamed. He was like talking to Jacob in the car. He told me afterwards they were laughing at me, like, that, what's wrong with Jen? She's walking like an 80-year-old lady. I was no joke in so much pain, and I could barely, it was like pins and needles. And I know some of you guys have experienced this before, and none of my supplements were working. Why? why don't, and they worked. I think I wouldn't have been able to move without them, right? That's the kind of crazy part about this. But my body was on fire. And I was trying to put out the fire, right, with the hoses, like the firefighters do. They bring the hoses. So my supplements are the hoses of water. And I'm trying to put that fire out. But what was I doing behind the scenes, right? I've got this forest fire. The firefighters are working their tails off. So the supplements are the firefighters here, right? Get my analogy. And I'm secretly over here taking gas cans and fueling the fire. And what is that fuel? It was all the processed sugar. You guys, I know this about my body, that processed sugar absolutely causes massive inflammation. I was eating like 8 candy bars a day. I'm not even joking with you. I was drinking alcohol. I was going weekly to Costco and getting that margarita mix, pre-mixed margarita, and just every day having 1 or 2 glasses. My husband doesn't drink alcohol at all because he gets that like Asian sickness flare up thing where he turns beet red and all puffy. So he's like alcohol free. I, on the other hand, was like, well, nothing else is going on, so let's drink it up. And I'm not a drinker. Some of you guys know that. I was like, well, I got nothing to do. This is fun. Let's heat the pool and hang out. So I was just taking tons and tons of processed sugar. I mean, we were going to Nothing Bundt Cakes. You know, I have a thing for that. Like, we were going to Dairy Queen, which, by the way, like, if you research the ingredients in there, we're talking super bad, right? I mean, I couldn't get enough Reese's peanut butter cups. I mean, it just didn't matter what it was. If it was sugar, it was in my mouth. And so I was gaining weight, but I was having massive pain because I was adding fuel to the fire. So my supplements were like, we're doing the best we can, Jen, but you're totally messing us up. So I'm walking, you know, bad, everything's in pain. I come back, Tim's like, I don't know what's going on with you. I'm like, well, I know what's going on. Like, I know, we all know what's happening, but I'm like, I want the easy answer. Well, some of you guys on my platform here have gotten into little mini arguments with me about CBD, meaning the whole CBD THC debate. And I don't use THC, absolutely not. I've always told you guys no THC. I love Young Living CBD oil because there is 0% THC in there. I don't want the kind of hallucinogenic stuff. I don't want that, any of that. Well, so many of you who use, you know, products that have THC in them, you know, kept coming at me saying, well, that's really what's going to take away the pain. That's really the mix of those two together. So I am going to say I stupidly, because I didn't understand what I was doing. Okay, this is important to note. Some of you guys who are CBD users that like the THC, I'm not judging you. I'm saying I didn't understand what I was doing. On the way to Mammoth, there's a CBD store, and then there's a huge CBD store in Mammoth. And I went to the store and I asked them, I go, I want an edible because I'm used to, you know, taking it you know, in the tincture, you know, or droppers. I want something that it has THC in it that is not 2 isolates together. I want like the whole plant. You know, I just wanted to kind of experience the whole thing. This was on the last day. We were there for a week. It was on the last day we were there. And I said, Tim, let's just go. Is it okay if we just go pick up some? I want to try it. And he's like, yeah, that's fine, whatever. So I took one, and there's a whole backstory. We don't have enough time to go into like the whole detail of everything, but I took one CBD capsule that had THC in it. And these are edibles. So it's a lot. There's a lot of THC in this. This wasn't just like smoking a joint or something like that. And about, I think it was 2 hours in, so it takes about 2 hours for it to kind of start working. I thought I had severe food poisoning. I was profusely vomiting. Everything was spinning. I couldn't stand up. I took a bath and I was like, I can't get out of the bath, Tim. You need to help me out of the bath. Like I can't, like I'm going to fall. Like this is really, really weird. I don't know what's going on. The vomiting that was happening was so aggressive that I couldn't wear pants. I was on the floor on the toilet, and every time I would vomit, my retch was so intense that I would pee all over the place. And it was so bad that Tim was like, I don't know what's going on. Do I need to call the hospital? Like, where is that coming from? He's like, there's no way you have that much food in your system, because it was like, I think, I don't even know how many times. I think at one point it was like 12, we counted, that I had just been like vomiting profusely into this toilet, you know? And I was spinning out of control, literally. And at one point, Tim said, "Can you please just put your pajamas on? Because if we have to call the hospital, or if you die," like, he was like, "I don't know what's going on here, but like, I don't want you to not have your pants on." So I'm like, all right. So I put my pants on, and I had to put stuff like a towel in there. It was so gross. I had to like, because it was just, my body was just completely shutting down. I don't know if any of you guys have ever experienced this, but it was awful. I remember sitting in the corner of the bathroom, like between sessions of vomiting, and trying to pray and trying to process and trying to anything to catch my mind to, like worship songs, memory verses, I mean, and what was so weird, you guys, I have a really, really tight brain. Like, my mind is strong, and that's something that, like, I don't listen to music. It's mostly silent in the house because I'm constantly, my brain is constantly working. My brain stopped working, and that scared the life out of me. I could not call memory verses. I have hundreds of memory verses memorized. I couldn't call up any of them. And the ones I did partially call up, I was putting them together. Like, I was randomly taking a couple words from this one, and I was like, what is going on? The songs, I was trying to think of even old hymns. And you guys, I've been a worship leader for years. Couldn't couldn't come up with a song. Like, couldn't pull anything together. And that was freaking me out. I was losing my mind, like actually losing my mind. And I just, all I could do was pray and ask God to, what is this? Is this food poisoning? At the time, I didn't know. I didn't know what was going on. And I had in the back of my mind that this has to be a reaction from this CBD pill. But I I couldn't, like, at one point I was now dry heaves. I'm still spinning. I can't, nothing else is coming out. So I figure I'm gonna lay down, and I start trying to fall asleep. Like, I'm exhausted. This was like 2 or 3 in the morning at this point, and I'm trying to fall asleep. And what was so weird, you guys, is that I'm freaking out about my mind, and I'm just trying to fall asleep. And I'm like, okay, Lord, just what's going on? And I'm feeling myself fall asleep, and then jolting myself out of that sleep because I felt my heart stopping. Every time I would start to fall asleep, I would feel my heart stopping, and I would like instantly jolt out to be like, no, 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 no. Like, you're going to die if you fall asleep. And I had this intense realization that I was actually going to die. Like, this was it. This was no joke. I am going to die. This was not I'm probably going to die. Oh, Lord, please save me. I don't want to die. It was not that. It was, this is it. I'm dying. Um, Tim, call the hospital. I think that I'm going to die. Don't let me fall asleep. My heart is literally stopping. So as this was going on, I was praying and thanking God for the life he gave me. I was like, okay, if this is my time to go, this is my time to go. And I felt very calm about that. But then something kicked in. And this is where the anxiety rises for all of us, right? I don't know if any of you guys have anxiety attacks. I don't have them. This was like the first major one. I had one when Jacob was born, but that was a different situation. This was like my first real, I thought I was actually dying, anxiety attack. And it was not about me. It was about the fact that, like, if I die, I'm dying. Okay. When I die, I started going through all the stuff that my husband's now gonna have to deal with, and my son. And I started thinking of like all the things, right? Like all the things that I'm gonna miss, and all the things that my kid's gonna miss. Like, my husband is going to have the hardest time, right? Like the hardest time with life, because I'm, for whatever reason, like, I do so much for this family, and in my mind I think I'm their savior, right? This is a huge idol in my own heart, obviously. But I think I was thinking so much about, what is it that my son deserves? And if I'm dead and I'm not in his life, like, you see these stories, and this is just like, to me, the most heartbreaking thing is like when a mom dies when a kid is not even out of like junior high. And I couldn't get past that. Like my whole being was like, okay, Lord, I get it. Like, if you want to take me home, that's fine. But like, can you like please somehow protect them? Like, I didn't know how to pray for them. I didn't know what to do. And it was just so like, it was so gut wrenching to me. And that's what started the panic attack. And that is what caused me to tell Tam, like, I need you to call the hospital. Like, you need to call the hospital. And he didn't know what to do. I mean, he was shaking, like he was like telling, I could hear him telling a nurse answered, and I could hear him telling the nurse like something totally weird. And I'm like, I don't even think he was paying attention to what was going on. I'm like, no, that's not what's happening. Bring me the phone. So he brought me the phone and like hovered it over my ear, and I could feel like this, right? Like him over my ear, and he was like shaking. To this day, he's like, oh, I was fine. I wasn't shaking at all. Like, I remember feeling that vibration from him. And because he doesn't know, like, it's too much. Like, he checks out. When Jacob was born, he was like, I don't know what's going on. This is crazy. Men typically like have a harder time with that, right? I think. And I told the woman what was going on, and she's like, sweetie, did you take any drugs? Like, well, I took some CBD pills with THC. Well, she's like, well, did you drink any alcohol? I go, no, but it was my first time ever doing it. She goes, well, it's altitude and the CBD and the THC and your body. That's just normal. Just sleep it off. I go, no, but the problem is, like, I can feel my heart stopping. And she goes, oh, yeah, that's normal. I was like, what? She legit was like, that's normal. When you take THC, oftentimes you can feel like your organs working. And I was like, that is so creepy. And she's like, it's absolutely fine. She's like, anything else that you did or anything? And I'm like, no, that's it. She goes, yeah, some people have a negative reaction to THC, and this sounds exactly like everything you explained to me, because I told her all about the vomiting and everything. She said, that all sounds totally normal. She's like, just sleep it off. So I'm like, what? Okay. And it's so funny um because it's one of those things where you get into a situation and you're stressing out because you don't know, and then you know what it is, and it's like, oh, we're good. And because I knew, I really was able to totally just fall asleep, and I was so tired, I was able to just get, like, fall asleep. And a couple hours later, I remember it was like probably 4 or 5 in the morning, I woke up and I'm like, I need to flush this out of my system. And so I went to the refrigerator and got like a handful of Detox Thyme, because that's really good if you've got something in your system that you need to flush out. I took probably 15 Detox Thyme and then went back to sleep. The next day I woke up like probably a few hours later, because we were leaving to come back home at 9, and I was totally fine, like totally fine. Super, super, super weird. But here's the thing. I went from gaining weight, using supplements to try to placate that chronic thing that I had just caused myself to have, right? Weight gain is a chronic illness, if you think about it that way. Like, being overweight, remember, every pound of weight is 4 pounds of pressure on your body, on your joints. That caused me to think I could just placate it, but then also still have my cake and eat it too, literally, And what was interesting to me was wanting to find that easy answer and realizing, Jen, you know what to do. You teach what to do, and yet you're trying to find the easy answer. And so again, I found out later on from my mom and my sister that they are highly allergic to THC, because they've both, I guess, smoked pot in their day, and apparently they have the same reaction. And I was like, well, that would have been nice to know, right? Like, thanks. So apparently my body is allergic to THC, which is fine. Again, I smoked pot once when I was in college, nothing, like, it was just like whatever. And then I had another edible that was an isolate edible, that was a very mild one, and I felt very dizzy but not vomiting. Then I took this very aggressive one, and that's when the floodgates happened. So here's where it kind of got into the struggle. That was in the summer of this year. I decided to join the Brandon Barber coaching program in October. And I was still overweight. I just was like, oh, I just want, my pastor was like, I think God blessed you with that experience because you are now able to identify with people who have anxiety attacks and deal with that, because it's some people deal with anxiety like that multiple times a day, and that's frightening to me, my friend. If you are someone who is dealing with anxiety multiple times a day, my heart aches for you, because it just doing that one time was awful. So for sure, my friend, like seriously, that's rough. So one thing though, and this is where it's an interesting thing to me, is when I started to listen to a coach, get into a community, right? I had to get into a community where I didn't want to. Does that make sense? Like, I told him, I'm like, he was going to put me in with some of the like upper echelon leaders. And I'm like, please don't. I don't want to deal with that drama. And I don't, I'm not supposed to be in that group. And then I'm like, and I don't know what group to be in. And my pride was through the roof, you guys. It was like this thing of like, well, I don't want to, how am I going to open up to my people who I teach, who they think I have everything together, and it's like, I don't. And what was so funny is I was a train wreck in that group. I couldn't get my act together. I didn't know which end was up. I mean, I had all the tools, and I remember asking, like, I'm so lost. Where are we? What module are we on? Like, I'm seriously so lost. And I was so embarrassed. And I got multiple messages from the people in that group saying, thank you for that. Like, that was so refreshing to see that you don't have everything together. And I'm like, please, I don't have everything together. Like, straight up, I don't. And I told you guys earlier on this talk that I do my makeup and my hair because I don't want it to be a distraction to you. I have a hard time watching people that are like all disheveled, because I'm distracted, because I have serious like issues with like, oh my gosh, there's a hair out of place, or oh my gosh, like, does she even know that she has something in her teeth? It's like, I just don't want there to be a distraction. And I've gotten flack for the fact that my background is the same all the time. And it's like, again, I just want it to be distraction free because I'm distracted. I have to sit in the front row of church because I have pew ADD. Do any of you have pew ADD? What I mean by that is, if anyone is sitting in front of me, I can't concentrate on the sermon, because all I'm concentrating on is the fact is that the woman in front of me is like holding her husband or tapping her son, or whatever it is, I have to be able to focus. So like Diamond Bound, I'm like VIP because I need to sit in the front. And some of you guys know that about me. Like, I just need to be in the front because I can't focus otherwise. And here's the thing. I just had to let that all go. And I had to get into a community, and I had to stop trying to be perfect. And I had to let my vulnerability down, right? Like, show my vulnerability, show who I am, right? It's just like impossible sometimes. And it was really hard, but one thing that was the most valuable thing I learned about not only being transparent and being vulnerable, but was that in the process of my gaining that weight, I was rebelling against my own cause, right? Brandon talks about this. And I remember him saying something that was so like it was so irritating to me. He was like, I go into the refrigerator and I look at my food and I think, I get to eat carrots. He wants to go for that burrito, but he's going to go for the carrots because he's going to tell himself, I get to eat carrots. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that is the lamest thing I've ever heard. Right? I remember getting so mad at that, thinking like, nobody says that. And then I started listening to him more and starting to really understand that positive mental shift. And I know this because I've taught this. You guys know on Endo 180, I do this whole free diet plan for you guys. And because we know that our bodies operate more powerfully, more clearly, more effectively when we're fueling it properly. So putting all this sugar in my body is, again, fueling the fire, not fueling the health, right? I want a green field pasture. I want my body to be thriving, not on fire. And that was, again, it was like just said in some different way, something I already taught, but I need, and that's something, the things. It's that we need the community. We need the vulnerability. We need the accountability. And that is what this is all about. That is what this new program that I'm running is going to be for you guys. And that is something that I think you all will just love. And I get to eat carrots now, and I love it. So thank you, Brandon. So what I did is I got to work and I stopped eating processed sugar. That was really the only thing I did. I started walking every day with my dog because the poor dog never gets a walk, and now I do every day. But I stopped eating processed sugar because I knew that was my thing. And the weight just came off like rapidly. And some of you guys watched that. You watched, and some of you guys were afraid because you saw my rib. I had broken a rib 2 years ago twice in the same spot. And then because I had lost so much weight, there was a massive pain in my back, and it was actually a shard, but it wasn't a shard. It was like a big story, but that's another story for another day. But some of you guys were like really afraid for me, like you shouldn't be losing that much weight that fast. And it's like, well, that's how my body responds to sugar. I balloon up when I'm on sugar, and I'm inflamed when I'm on sugar. But when I get rid of processed sugar, I'm good. Like I regulate back down. So I got also really serious about my supplement use. So I'm going to go over briefly what I use, because you guys ask all the time. Of course, Ningsure Red, and I drink the red drink all the time because I love it. Thank you, Dr. Binky, for that. I take Mighty Pro as my main probiotic because I do take Life 9 as well, but it has to be refrigerated, and I always forget about it, and that's just so much easier. But you guys know, some of you know that Agiles is one of my main things. So Sulfurzyme, Agiles, these two are a must, and I take Agiles at night. Now, this is an interesting thing to note, that your body is going through a healing process at night. Now, Young Living recommends things on their labels, but in the supplements desk reference, I give you some added kind of user suggestions based on current research. And turmeric is known to better absorb in your body with a little bit of fat. But because it has it has piperine in it, right? It allows it to become really more bioavailable. But Agiles, because it's our turmeric supplement, I used to take it in the morning, and then I started taking it at night before bed, and it's cut everything out. So like what I mean by that is I used to still have, about 10% feeling joint achiness. And because I'm taking it at night, it's working with my nighttime healing process, right? Your body does that at night. And it's just beautiful. Like that, just it's next to my bedside table now. The other thing that's next to my bedside table is Imupro. I take one of these every single night, and that has melatonin in it. So do know that it helps my mind stop being crazy, and it's not habit forming. And so that's a really good one. You guys know I take a lot of enzymes. So for sure, Allerzyme, Essential Zyme, Allerzyme, yeah, Essential Zyme 4, and Detox Thyme. I don't take them all at the same time, though. I take them for different things. This is something I learned from Gary, and so I'm going to just teach you real quick what you would do. I take Essential Zymes at most big meals, so 2 meals a day, or sometimes just 1 meal a day, because sometimes I'm eating like 5 small meals a day. So I take the 2 capsules of Allerzyme or Essential Zymes 4. If I'm going to go somewhere out, I always take these and this. I'll take 2 Allerzyme, because this is the capsule that helps me to not get glutened. So if I'm going to go somewhere, I don't eat gluten. I'm just going to say get tacos, and I'm ordering corn tacos, and I'm not getting anything with gluten on them, but there's always cross contamination. So I'm going to take this always. I can't be without this. So, and usually we'll go out somewhere, and if I forget my enzymes, we have to go to specific places, and Tim's like, oh, you forgot your enzymes, so we can't go to certain restaurants. So these for sure are in the lineup. But Essential Zyme, I'm popping randomly 2 or 3 here and there throughout the day. That's a big thing. Gary did that. Like when we travel, I take a lot of these. Okay, that was a big thing that allowed Gary to stay healthy when he traveled. So I followed Gary's advice, and I just popped these. I learned something new from Sarah Harnish, that if you can't swallow pills, Essential Zymes, you can chew. I tried it; it's gross, but you can chew these. So that was an interesting thing for sure. And then Detox Thyme, I only take it when I feel like I need to flush my system a little bit better. So I'll take like 7 to 10 of these at night, once or twice a month. Or, and I don't do this anymore, right? But if I drank too much, or felt like, I needed to flush my system of something. So Detox Thyme, a bunch of them. But again, not every day, just all at night before I go to bed. So That's something interesting to note. So I do take all of them. In the morning, I will wake up and I try to do the PD 80/20 on a schedule. So like I kind of pay attention to my hormones and when what I'm feeling. So I don't do PD 80/20 every day, but I do need it right now. I'm perimenopausal for sure. I'm using progestins plus every single day, but this is like a bump. So if I feel like my hormones are a little bit more wacky, I will wake up in the morning and take this for sure, and I'll do this for about 5 or 7 days consistently, and then I don't. Again, everyone's different. You got to monitor your own hormonal changes. But I feel like this has allowed me to kind of control my hormonal spikes. So this has been really, really helpful to me. And Progestins Plus, awesome right now, every day. And then in the morning with breakfast, I take one Super B, one Super D, one Cardio Gize, and one Super Cal Plus. Okay, so I'm losing them. There's too many, but I take those four in the morning, one, and then if I remember, and I don't always remember, I take another set of those. I split the dose, so and I'll take that in the afternoon. So it's like with lunch. So that's a thing that you should consider splitting. Those are really good together. All four of those together is a brilliant combo. And then splitting the dose is also good. I take Super C chewables all the time. I do 2 of these at night before bed because the Super C chewables are excellent for regenerating your skin and hair and all that stuff. Really helpful for that, but also just random throughout the day. So sometimes I take these in the morning with those other 4 as well. And then I take ICP daily when I travel. When we go to Mammoth, I get really gassy. I don't know that you guys, so this has been really awesome supplement for me up there, and helps me go number 2 because I'm very consistent number 2, except for when we go to Mammoth because of the altitude. It's very weird. My family is thankful for this. I'm too much information girl, and so they are. My son is always like, Mom, I don't think women are like you. Like because I, just to be honest here, I like farts. I think they're hilarious. And Jacob definitely thinks I'm gross. So when we go to Mammoth, there's like excess gas, and he's always like, "Oh, what did Mom eat?" I'm like, "No, it's just Mammoth. It's you go up, it's like a balloon. You know, you go to Mammoth, you're up in the altitude, and you've got extra gas in you." So I've got that's when I use my DiGize, but really the ICP Daily is really helpful for that. So really funny, right? And then I travel, and I'm always with Inner Defense. I never am without Inner Defense. I don't take this daily. I take this when I feel a dip. So when I feel like I've dipped into a little bit of not feeling great, I'll take like 2, 3 sometimes, usually 2. Occasionally, if I'm like, whoa, something really bad, 4. But again, right before, never when you are sick. I don't get sick. I don't ever get sick. I know that's kind of a weird thing to say, but I haven't gotten sick once, other than because I put CBD with THC in my mouth. But the Inner Defense is like I'm just kind of paying attention to my body, how I'm feeling. And when I dip, I'm like, I take this. Okay. I get sinusy. You guys, some of you know I have sinusitis. So I do have that issue, but this helps just kind of keep that clear. I'm also a big lover of the Vitality Drops Plus Energy. I think this one tastes like phenomenal, but I'm cautious with caffeine use because I don't do a lot of caffeine, and this caffeine is non-habit forming. It doesn't give me headaches, which is awesome, but I have to just only in the morning if I feel like I need a little bit of a boost. I don't need a lot of energy because I'm already too kind of crazy energized. That's kind of it. I'm probably forgetting something. I think I got everything, but those are the supplements I take and when I'm taking them. So I'm hoping that that's really helpful to you and you're able to kind of, I don't know, get something out of that at least. Okay, so the questions that come up though is, what about you? What should you be doing, right? I started my entire Young Living journey as a business builder, as a brand partner in 2015 by doing oil mapping. Okay, oil mapping was what I did for everybody. Anybody who wanted an oil map and then they signed up with me for Young Living, that was what we did. And that was the most helpful tool to educate me. Then I got into, doing my studies with French medicinal aromatherapy and learning about terrain. And so I coined the term terrain mapping based on my studies there. And I realized after I started really deep diving into the supplements and putting protocols together for you, that the question keeps coming up is like, well, Jen, I really want you to tell me what I need to do. Well, first of all, I'm not a doctor, right? And I get hundreds of questions from you guys every day that I can't answer, right? It would be not compliant. It would be illegal. I could go to jail. So I don't. And you guys are frustrated with that. And I've been really racking my brain for like, what do you guys need? And it dawned on me that the one thing I've held back from you guys is the one thing that I actually could do for you guys. Does that make sense? I mean, this is what's so exciting to me, that for whatever reason, I've held this back because I've thought that it was just going to be bad, like it was going to be too much, right? And I don't think so. I think you guys are so respectful and so amazing that you know, we have a group called Team Vitality, and again, those people have been with me for years. These are crossline members. They're people who have said, you know what, Jen, I want to learn from you. And you know, they don't come to my team, by the way. So there's nobody who's nobody in Team Vitality has ever switched teams. I don't allow it. Okay. If I allowed it, I would be Royal Crown Diamond by now. I think that's kind of the funny thing. If you actually think that through, I don't allow it. And I sit there for hours with people talking them out of it. So one of the things that I want you to understand is that my goal, when I think it was Jack was talking about like, what is your goal? Write it down. What do you want? It's not a money thing for me. It never has been. Some of you guys that know that about us, like both Tim and I, like we don't care. Like we give away more than we make usually. I mean, it's insane. Our tax guy always laughs at us. Like, what are you guys doing? And it's one of those things where it's not about, to me, it's absolutely not about money. It's about people. So when he was talking about like the $1 million bill, putting it on your ceiling, I was envisioning 1 million people. How can I help 1 million people on their wellness journey? How can I help 1 million people not be inflamed? How can I help them have this brain that just works well and fires on all 8 cylinders or whatever, right? Like, how do I help you guys in a real way? And the thing that I've held back was personal one-on-one. I have not been able to do that because, you know, in the wedding industry, I mean, we charge tons of money, right? It was like, you know, if you wanted coaching from me in the business, it was a lot of money. And this is years ago. So to me, a lot of money was, you know, a lot of money. I mean, $500 an hour. I didn't know how to translate $500 an hour that I was charging for business coaching to wellness coaching. Like, I didn't know how to do that. Like, and you guys all ask sometimes, I'll pay you, help me. I need to just take all my supplements and figure out what to do and what should I be doing and how can I stay accountable and how can I get my health back, right? And then it dawned on me that we need to create a community that is a year-long program that is exactly that, where you guys can text me with your questions, where we will have one-on-one FaceTime with each other, where we will be able to do Zoom calls or group accountability sessions. And I asked you guys, what would you want? And all of the things you guys were saying is everything that made sense to me, everything that I have been realizing that you guys need. And I'm trying so hard to figure out, like, okay, a normal coach, if you were to do this even for like 6 months, this would be like $5,000. But I'm not talking about like every other week, right? Normal coaching is like every other week, maybe once a week. This is like every week. This is like cell phone access to me. This is like you being able to get wellness maps, custom wellness maps from me. There's, you know, and if you join as a team, there's even more benefits. So if you have 5 or 6 people on your team that wants to join and do this together, that's even a bigger benefit, right? Because we would be doing group calls together and being able to get you guys into your actual downline groups and doing events for you guys. So this is like something that no one has ever offered. And I mean, we're talking just for 6 months, it would be $5,000. And I'm like, I can't do that. There's no way. You guys know that about me, that like you know, I would rather help 1 million people at a very low price than help 2 at a big price, right? So we're starting July 1st. So I want you to just kind of pray about it, talk to your husband, and it's so inexpensive, okay? It's $319 for an entire year of being able to access everything. And what I mean by everything is you're going to be in the Vitality Lifestyle Coaching Program, which is an $800 value. I mean, there's too many things for me to even list because I would go on. I have this listed on the page. You can go to vitalityedu.com/ask Jen. So this is going to be a wellness mapping like community of figuring out how do you become a master trainer in this as well. You can be a customer who just needs answers. You can be a brand partner who needs to desperately learn how to train your own members how to teach. You guys, we are moving in a situation here. We're moving in a direction now that is all FTC compliant. What does that look like? I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you understand what it is in a powerful way that you can share. How do you share your story? How do you get your customers to be raving fans? And you know, we don't cover a lot of business in this because it's mostly health, but that comes up a lot. And how do you, you know, I give you guys that stuff for free anyways. I mean, you guys know the amount of free content. I put up the 90-day follow-up system free. It's something that can go along with the Rise book. I want to give as much free content as possible. And the people who join Team Vitality know that. They know that the retention there is high because people, I mean, it's just too much. The value is too high. So this is going to be off the charts. I mean, think that through. It's $319 for an entire year, direct access, cell phone access, 2 wellness maps. I think some of you guys going over to that site right now can see what it is. So again, it's vitalityedu.com. We're just going to wrap this up right now. .com/ask Jen. And I think you are going to be blown away. If you are a silver leader and above, and you get just 3 team members and yourself to join this, you're going to get a free Facebook or live or Zoom session with your team. I charge $300 just for that. So that's a huge deal for you guys. You're going to get one-on-one text with me, Marco Polo or email health maps. We're going to do 2 private health events. So see what we did today. We're going to be doing 2 panel expert health events that you will have access to. And it's just you guys. We're going to be doing a lot more, by the way, because you're going to get all sorts of things. You're going to get the training and you're going to get every single Monday night. We do a Zoom call. I mean, I can't go over all of the value that is in this because it's too packed. So I would love for you to check that out. Let me know if you want to join. I hope that this has been exciting for you. And if you have questions, just message me. Like I said, pray about it. Talk it over with your people, see what works for you. But I'm going to tell you right now, I am ready for transformation, and I hope you are too. So thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me. I'm still sweating, I think. Yeah, this is a good shirt, right? Because it kind of hides all of that. That is a big sweat thing because it almost looks like the pattern. That's so funny. I love it. So thank you again. And you are all such a blessing to me. I cannot wait to see if you guys want to go to Diamond Bound. I bought a VIP ticket, and Jordan said you can get $10 off if you use a code O'Sullivan. I'm not sure how to put that in, but if you message them and just say, I told you guys to go and you were going to come with me, that's part of my Team Vitality. So that is, you know, and if you have a team member, definitely go with them. But I would love to hang out with all of you guys. I really do. And we do that with Team Vitality every convention. So next year, because if you'll be part of this group, you come, I give tons of gifts to my Team Vitality members. So it doesn't matter if there's 400 or 500 people there, we go crazy. Tim and I love gifting you guys. So thank you again. And you all are such a blessing. And I hope that this day has been just a huge value to you. And be blessed, you guys. All right, take care. Bye.